Hello and welcome, I'm Tafara Gadamu. Mountain biking meant for adventure travelers is now being espoused by the tourism industry in this country. Mark Chapman and Bogale Abe had tried that and believe it makes sense. And they are now ready to sell the package in the international travel market. Mark Chapman, Bogale Abe, thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
What could possibly in the future, I guess, would be a niche market, but it's just beginning. Mountain biking. It all started in Ankober, right? Some 4 or 5 years back?
Yes, the catalyst was COVID. We'd been sitting at home doing nothing since COVID started, and we were in a kind of lockdown situation, no clients, offices closed. And I got the idea that we could run some kind of bike ride to raise money for tourism professionals, freelance guides and so on that hadn't had any money because of COVID. So I contacted Bogale and a few other friends, and we put together a sort of little consortium. We called it Ride the Rift, and we ran a charity bike ride in November 2020.
How was it like at the beginning?
It was great to have this idea actually from Mark because we were sitting and just doing nothing, but it was really an opportunity not only for us but also for mainly those expat groups who are looking to go out of the cities. They have been locked, so they need something, they need some activity. So at that time, a lot of people were also interested to do hiking or biking around because it's all about getting some fresh air and getting some exercise. So the first charity bike ride that we did in Ankober area really went well. We had above 70 participants, and we were able even to raise around 500,000 Ethiopian birr and help those tourism service providers all over the country. And
who had just begun suffering from the loss of income.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So you started this, and it was complemented by a number of people who wanted to join that, right? So the need was there. The craving was there. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it was a different market in a sense then, because as Bogale said, people were in lockdown. So you had expats living here. They couldn't go off on holiday to Kenya or the Seychelles. They couldn't go back home and see granny or granddad. So they were stuck here, and some organizations said you're not allowed to stay in hotels, but you can camp. So we were running this as a camping outdoor activity. So it worked.
So this were mainly expats?
Expats and people who were, married to Ethiopians, Ethiopians married to foreigners, and some diaspora Ethiopians. A little bit of a mix, but probably led mostly at that point by expats.
When did you have this package structured in a way that would be seasonal and stuff?
I mean, we ran the first event and didn't know we were going to run anything else. It was just, let's run a charity bike ride. But we got such a positive response. People said, can we do this again? But don't make the cycling quite so tough. Because we cycled up from the Afar lowlands up to Ankober Lodge, and it was really, really challenging. Wow. So
that was one of the oldest trade routes.
Exactly, through Aliuamba.
Yes, to Aliuamba and up into Ankober, yeah.
Exactly. So it was a historical route, but going uphill was a lot harder than it would be going downhill. And going downhill creates dangers as well, because people sometimes fall if you go down for too long. So we we started exploring the area, actually. So we found other warriors in Simeon Shoa, which were really interesting. We did trips around Wanchi Crater. We went down to Langano, and we explored Guragi as well, which tourists really didn't visit at that time. It's starting to happen a little bit more now. But we started exploring these places because people didn't want to fly. They wanted to be near Addis. So we developed these adventure weekends, maybe linked to a national holiday, and we'd take people out for 3, 4, 5 days to do these kind of activities. And it really gathered momentum.
So the trekking sites were close to Addis, is that fair?
Not really far from Addis. Maybe the longest drive we have around 200 kilometers, maybe to Guragi. Of course, now we also had that in Hawassa area, of course, so it can be a little bit of about 200 kilometers distance. So they are not really far from Addis. So it's a very short driving distance, and as Mark has said it before, of course, we discovered a lot of places, and it was also a fun for the three of us mainly to discover new areas and to meet with new people, to new routes, and we were really happy, also very much excited to see this kind of places, because they become also products not only for us. It's a kind of showing things for other tour operators to supply for their own clients, to sell for their own clients. So that was really an opportunity.
So how far were they from the ideal locations where you can only drive?
Well, one of the locations was in Saro and Moretena Jiru. Jiru, I think, is famous for the Arsema monastery there. And there's another monastery, Marcos, Zena Marcos, that people don't really, people who visit monasteries would know about it, but from a tourist point of view, it wasn't visited. And beautiful canyon area around there. So that's a good example of somewhere one of my friends had seen some waterfalls from the aeroplane. We'd been looking on Google Maps, and we started thinking this has to be a potential area. And you put the information you've heard together, explore it on Google Maps, go out and do probably a couple of recce trips with, Bogali, myself, Marco, from Simionico Tours, with our mountain bikes and hiking, and talk to the Waradas and the Kabelis and the communities there. And establish where we can camp, where we maybe, if we can use a hotel or not. But we prefer camping.
Let's talk about your recent trip. That would be just outside of Hawassa, in the south?
Yeah.
How did you plan it and map it?
Of course, we did it in the same way that we have been also planning for the previous trips. When we are discovering the sites, we first see from the Google map, from the satellite map, and then see, okay, it's a potential area for biking, hiking, and when we are planning also to go out of the previous areas, and as you know, because of this security situation, some of the places that we have been before are not accessible for us, and of course we can go, but tourists may not trust us to tell them.
Because they are truly off the beaten track.
Yes, yeah, truly off the beaten track, and to be out of anywhere, and especially when there is a security issue was a problem. Okay, anyways, we find this place. It was really, when there is a flight, actually, daily flight, and the airport is not very far from the area that we discovered. And we found that area, of course, the lowest area is a bit hot, so going a little bit above is also something interesting. And we see from the satellite map that from that side there is really a great view of that Lake Hawassa, and the Sidama people culture also will be combined together with this. And then for that we decided to go there. It's just because we are doing only 2 nights, 3 days trip, so Friday fly, Sunday afternoon, fly back. You can fly on Friday and back on Sunday afternoon. Then within these 3 days, you can have a bunch of biking activities in that area. And we discovered that, and then we found it really interesting. We create all the routes and the trails and the campsites, of course, arrangements. So we have to find also some facilities for our campsite, like waters or road access and things like that. So we did all this, and we have to have also meetings with the communities of the Sidama people, which we found them also all really interesting, and that's why we decided to go there and to take our peoples. Yeah.
What else did you get out there?
To add to what Bogali says, Hawassa was, with the current situation, a lot of our clients are actually told by their organizations, you can't travel by road out of Addis Ababa even. So, as Bogali says, there's a flight to Hawassa. Sidama region is in a green area from all of these other organizations. So that's why we thought, okay, this is our charity bike ride. We need to maximize the number of clients. And with the expressway, we can drive all the equipment down there quickly. So it actually worked very, very well in that sense. And now we've spent a lot of time exploring the Guragi highlands, which are beautiful. The people are wonderful. We've got lots of potential places to stay. And now we're trying to create a route that goes down through the new central region, starting in Guragi, going down through Walaita and going on to Hawassa. because we could create a 5 to, well, probably 7 to 10 day trip through there for biking, mountain biking primarily, and then potentially have an alternative for people that want to do hiking, so that they can see this fantastic landscape. Because you're on the edge of the Rift Valley and you have fantastic views. And yeah, as Boghali says, this wonderful cultures of the Sidama and Walaita people is different but connected. So I'm really excited about developing this product and having something new we can take to the market.
How different is it from the other locations where you have done that before? Like you say in the Afar and also probably in the Amhara region and so on.
Well, the difference is, of course, one thing is, of course, the climating. The climate there is also a little bit different from, because in the previous times we have been doing our biking tours in a little bit higher areas, like about 2,500 and something like that. And that's one difference. And the other thing is, of course, the view and from the mountains that where we were, it's just at the bottom is Lake Hawassa. So it's quite different actually from when we are considering this. And of course the people, culture, everywhere you go to Ethiopia, of course the Sidama people are also different from the Amhara and all this. So the people culture is also different. So these are some of the and of course we really had a very beautiful campsite, Mark. And when you are waking up early in the morning around 6 or 6:30, you just feel yourself you are somewhere else, So it's something new for me actually, that I have never experienced this kind of even sunrise actually, above the lake and all the golden sky and early in the morning, and even the bird life by itself was also interesting. In the morning we hear a lot of different birds in that area, and of course, as I said, the language, the culture itself. Yeah.
So, do you have people interested in joining you in your adventures coming up? Because you're going to cover a much larger landscape than what you have done last week, covering the entire Southwest, right?
Yeah,
or a good part of the Southwest.
This route down, which follows these ridges, and there's volcanic topography as well. So very exciting. But I think this is a product that we're going to take to the international market, because Ride the Rift has been focused on the domestic market, whether it's expats or long-term people living here or diaspora Ethiopians, and they love it. And I'm sure if we ran a trip, in October down through that central area, we would get some people signing up from the domestic market. But the aim is actually to try to get some groups. Some cycling groups interested, because it's really hand to mouth. If we're doing these trips, it started out, as Boghali said, like we had a purpose to help the industry recover from COVID, and we wanted to give people something fun to do, get people out of Addis, and we wanted to have fun. But after years of not making money in the tourism industry, we have to find ways to get groups back, because if you
to help also the locals,
it will help the locals, it will help the industry, and it will help our businesses. I mean, we're employing staff and struggling month to month to pay salaries. So if we can get international tourists back in a specialized area, in a niche market, that adventure tourism, sustainable tourism, these are our goals.
You're looking forward to ITB Berlin in early March?
Very excited to go there.
This is one of the largest, or probably the largest travel market.
Exactly. And
so how are you going to package it?
Well, there's a hall that has a focus on sustainability and adventure tourism, and we're going to have a presence in that hall. We've got a small stand that CBI, Dutch organisation, have been supporting us with sustainability and so on. So we have a small stand. We also are giving some talks on the they have these small rooms where there are conferences, talks going on. So we've been invited to give some talks about the cycling and the sustainability and Ride the Rift. So we got a chance to really promote ourselves there and try and make contact with some tour operators that are looking for adventure. Maybe they didn't come to us because we're Ethiopia. They come to us because this is adventure cycling and the kind of product they're looking for, and it's in Ethiopia, which is exciting. So I'm really hopeful we can create a new product for Ethiopia, and something that it can develop a reputation for cycling, hiking, adventure tourism, outdoors activities.
Do you think you're as hopeful as he is? Do you think you would be succeeding in selling this as a niche market?
I do think that, yes. Well, we are also producing a kind of documentary to show for people. It's something really interesting. Also, we're showing those videos will also attract. Normally, I feel that we are doing the works of tourism minister or somebody who has to do on marketing. Actually, the government body has to be doing all this promotion, developing new products. But we are doing on behalf of them. That's what I'm thinking now. Not now, of course. For the last 3-4 years, I think we are not running. We were not running to get business or to get profit out of it. One thing is, of course, to support some tourism service providers and also to create some work opportunity also for our drivers and guides also to do something with us. And most important is discovering new areas, even giving trainings also for the locals. We had a lot of meetings with locals, with communities, and trying to create some awareness about tourism. We met thousands of people who never heard about tourism, actually. So we did a lot of work, that we can proud of it, actually. People now understand what tourism is and how to also welcome all the tourists in these areas. Of course, our people are friendly, but when they see something new, they sometimes are really, curious to know what we are doing. And some people may not understand you that you are going for only tourism activities. But so creating all this awareness about tourism and searching for new routes, new areas, new products. Of course, it's a niche market. You mentioned it, the biking tour itself. So we did a lot of that. So this may by itself also will attract a lot of companies and tourists to come to Ethiopia.
Well, it takes time to make your presence felt. Thank you very much indeed. Good luck with your adventures. It was a pleasure having you on my show.
Thank you very much.